Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. So in this tutorial, we are going to talk about arrays, properties and methods. Okay, so far we have covered the array concept in JavaScript. So please, before you take this tutorial, make sure you have already watched the previous one, because this one is just the continuation of the previous one. Okay, please go back and watch that previous one so that you can get the what we are actually doing here. That is, and also make sure you have already subscribed to my channel. Please don't forget to comment, like and share. Okay, thanks if you have already done that. Now let's go ahead and talk about properties and methods of the array object. We said that method is nothing but function in object oriented concept. Okay, so before we jump into that, we see here I have my Visual Studio open with the file, the index.html, where I link my index file, the JavaScript file. Okay, we saw how to do it in the previous tutorial, in some previous tutorials. Okay, and then I have my browser sync up running, which is actually helping me reloading my page as I'm just save a changes. Okay, so I don't need to reload the browser each time from here as I'm saving. It just help me reload automatically. So let me just do something and then we'll see how what I'm talking about. So let me start document dot write something like hello. Let me just save. As I'm saving, you see that, let me go to my browser. You see we have the hello. I've not reload something here, so that's the browser saying help me doing that. So if you don't know how to install it, please go back, and there's one tutorial on how to install browser sync in our computer. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about properties and methods of the array object. We have there, okay, let me just put a comment so that we can have a view on what we are doing. We have the concat, okay, concat methods. So the concat method returns the combination of two or more arrays. To use it, first you need two or more arrays to combine. So let's go ahead and do something like var, call this one r1, is array 1. Let's just give it some data. I can just put let me just say A and then B, something like, let me just put some 3 elements within my array. Here C, okay, and then let me go ahead and create a second array and just copy and then call it 2, okay, and then D, E and F. Okay, so now I've created 2 arrays that I want to concatenate. Okay, so to concatenate, we say that the concat method returns the combination of 2 or more arrays. Okay, to use it, first you need 2 or more arrays to combine. Okay, here we have our 2 arrays there to combine. Okay, so now let's make an array, call it array 3, okay, equals to what? Array 1 dot concat, okay, array 2. Is very straightforward, as you can see there. So actually we are combining array 1 and array 2 and then return the merge array to array 3. So now array 3 will contains this, both this and this as one array, of course. So, and of course the first element will be A and then second B and so on, because array 1 is at the first here. So we're actually applying the method first to array 1. So if you put array 2 here, the first element of array 3 will be actually D. Okay, so I hope you got the point. So let's go ahead and try to print that document right, and then let's just say array 3. Okay, we can just do something like this, save the changes, and then let's go to our browser. You see there we have A, B, C, D, E, F. So I hope you got it. Okay, so that's how we can actually, of course, if you have another array, you can just apply it on this array 2 and then concatenate it. That is dot concat, and then apply it again. Let me just say array, I don't know, array 4. Okay, you can just continue and applying, so that will not be a problem. Okay, so but here we have only two, and that will be all for the that method. So that is the example of the new array tree contains the, I said that the both the array 1 and array 2 contents. Okay, so we have also the join method. Join, okay, the join and the split method like this. Okay, so the array object's join method returns a single string which contains all of the elements of an array, okay, separated by a specified delimiter. Okay, if the delimiter is not specified, it is set to a comma. Okay, and the string object split method returns an array in which the content of the supply string becomes the array elements. Okay, so we are going to, let's go ahead and try to apply that and see what is that all about. Okay, and remember that each element separated from the other this thing based on the specified string delimiters. So to use the join method, first you need to make an array as we have here. Let me just comment this second one, and then we are going to work only with this array one. Okay, so it's okay for the concat method. I hope that. So now I have this array, okay, with elements a, b, and c. So to make, let us say, a join, to use the join, let's just do something like this. So let me just create a variable called join equals to array 1 dot join like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to print this and see what it shows. That's the join variable. You see here we have a, b, and c. Okay, that's the expected output. So we said that when you apply, the join is actually there. Remember that it combines and then return one string. Okay, so this one that is printing is something like this, please, like a, b, and c. One string is not more an array. Okay, so that is it. So we said that if you don't specify anything, you then by default just give it like this with a comma, okay, as a delimiter. But if you want to like set a delimiter, of course you can just put it here. You can just put a semicolon like this. Let's just save, and then you see here we have the semicolon. And remember that is actually returning a string, it's not more an array. So this join is a string. Okay, so I hope you got the point. So now to convert it back into an array with the string object split method, so this join, which is actually what, a string. Okay, now let me just call var array 2. So if you want to revert that back to an array, okay, because we said that is a string, remember you can just use the split method, okay, to do that. So now this one is an array. Okay, so this split returns an array, and then it will, let us say, it takes a string as you can see there, and then apply that split method to it. Okay, so let me just put the semicolon, okay, there, and let's go ahead and see. You see here we have a, b, and c, okay, which is actually this is a new array. So it returns an array with, please, it's very important, and then it delimits it with the semicolon as you saw there. So let's just put this, and let's go ahead and you see it maintains that because the string is actually separated with this. So you need to like match that. So of course, let me just, as you know, print it so that you are not actually seeing what I'm doing. So let me just put array 2. Okay, so that is it. So normally that is it. So as you can see there, now we have an array. Okay, a element 1, 2, so yes, and the third one, so which is actually an array. Okay, so I hope you got the point. So as this split sees something like a semicolon, it then take it the previous element as an element of the new array. As it sees a new this semicolon, it takes the second element, the previous element, as the element of the array, and so on. Okay, so now we have the pop and the shift methods. So we have the pop and the shift methods. Okay, now the array pop method, and let us say it removes and returns the last element of an array. Okay, I hope you got the point from the join and the split. Oh, let me just take it back. Okay, the join take elements of an array and then join it and with a delimiter. If you don't specify it, join it with column by default, by comma, with comma by default. Okay, and then returns a string with that delimiters. But now the split takes a string, let us say it is applied to a string with a delimiter to like split it back, okay, to an array. So as it sees a semicolon in that string, it takes the previous element as an array element, and so on and so on. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the pop and the shift method. So I have here my array 1. Okay, let's now apply the pop method to it. So dot pop. Okay, just apply it like this. We say that it removes the last element and just then return that element that it removes. And remember that when it removes, the element no longer exists. Okay, so I hope you got the point. Let's just go ahead and try to print in as we see. Or let me just put something so that it should not be collapsed, and then you will not see nothing. BR which actually an HTML break line. Okay, let's go ahead and see. You see that we have C, so it popped the last element of the array, which was C, and then return that element. So it returns that element and then go to the next line, and then here I'm actually printing the array. What remains, of course, we popped an element, so we have now only 2 elements in our array. Okay, and the shift is just the reverse. You just take it from the, you just pop the first element. Okay, it just removes the first element and then return that element. Okay, as you see there, we have the A that it actually removes at the beginning the first element of the array, and then the new array becomes B and C. Okay, that's what the shift method actually does. Okay, we have also the push and unshift. Okay, so the push, okay, the push and the unshift. Okay, unshift methods, which is very straightforward. Okay, I hope you are getting what we are doing here. You see that it's very simple. Okay, so the push is like, you understand, so it actually push add an element at the end of an array. But which element? Let me just put here E. Okay, so actually you will add this element, this E, at the end of an array. So we are actually pushing, adding elements to our array. So let's go ahead and see. We see that we have A, B, C, and E. So we added E with the push method, and that push method returns the length of the array, so which is actually 4. Okay, so now we have the unshift. Okay, we have the unshift method. So now the unshift method is just the reverse process. Okay, so let me just put here on shift. You just add the element at the beginning of the array. Okay, So let's go ahead and save that. And you see there we have added the e at the first position of the array. Okay, and then of course the indexes will change. That means this index will now be 1 because this e will be 0, and then b2, c3, and it also returns the length, the size of the array, that is the number of the elements in the array. Okay, so that's the use of the unshift method. Okay, I hope you understood the method concept and how they actually work and how they can be useful. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and then see you in the next tutorial. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and share. Okay, bye.